Hi everyone, welcome back to the Academy of God. And today I wanted to share with you an experience that I had by the grace of God. So, in this experience, I went to bed, and what happened is that my spirit was taken into another realm, and in that realm, my identity was hidden because where I was taken was in the kingdom of Satan, the kingdom of darkness. I was in the world of the devil. But the jurisdiction where I found myself in was a school where people went in the spirit to learn black magic and witchcraft on a very high level. There, I took the course as a student in that school, in that facility, and these are the things that I saw. So, first of all, I noticed that the witchcraft, the magic that was being taught in that place was on the level of things that people see in movies like Harry Potter and all those things. But in this place, they were taught how to really do these things. So it wasn't just the low level magic or witchcraft that people see on social media, where they send curses here and there to whoever or basically create some form of love spell. But there they were doing, uh, let's just say, sacrifices and things like that, but also how to move objects, how to influence matter, and these kind of things. And I was given a book, two books actually. And one of those books that I started to read was called was in, was entitled on the cover of that book, "The Secret Art of Black Magic," and on the cover picture was the image of Baphomet. And for those who don't know, it's the representation that you'll see on your screen. This is what I saw, but it was upside down. It was inverted. And when I saw this, I understood that everything the devil does is always twisted from what God does. So I saw that in this book, we're reading from left to right, which now gives me the idea that originally we're supposed to read from right to left. And another thing also is that this book, it didn't look like our books on earth, but it looked like a very mystical book with pictures inside of it and text written in a very beautiful calligraphy. This specific book of the Sacred Art of Black Magic, it was on the history of magic throughout Europe in the Middle Age. And this book wasn't written by men, it was a book written by the devil himself, which was given to the student in that facility. And inside of it, it was basically telling how witchcraft, how magic was implemented within Europe, and how it and how it basically infiltrated the elite and the ruling class of Europe. And what I saw written inside of the book was detailing how witchcraft in Europe started with a man, a mysterious man who would roam throughout Europe. And this person, by displaying his powers, his magic, his knowledge, then got access to powerful people through contacts, and then started initiating these people one after the others because they were interested, they were curious about these strange powers that the man possessed, the things that he could do, the fact that he could cast spells or curses on people or influence and dominate people's mind. So that's how these elites started to get initiated one after the others into witchcraft and then learn these arts into black magic and other forms of magic also. And in this book, it was also explained how this man, how he got his knowledge on witchcraft was basically through inspiration. It was saying how this man, he would sometimes he sometimes found himself wandering and just visualizing, just daydreaming and imagining things. And as he was cultivating that imagination, demons, spirits, wicked spirits started inspiring him and giving him ideas to experiment. For example, he could be sitting somewhere on nature, let's imagine that scenery, and just by daydreaming and then thinking, we start to have these ideas, these images in these pictures in his mind of why not try to do this and that, to mix this substance and these substances. Why not try to, I don't know, repeat certain mantras, certain words in a certain way? And he will do these things that he got from his own imagination and he will get results. But the truth is that it didn't come from his mind. There were spirits who were inspiring him and giving him ideas. And it will come in the form of imagination and pictures in his mind. And he will then go on and put them into practice, which will then lead him into deeper realm of witchcraft, where now he no longer had to rely just on his imagination. Now he had face-to-face encounters with these demonic creatures who would then teach him deeper things into witchcraft. So he went on in Europe and got access to elite, to the ruling class, and that's how he initiated little by little this elite. And then these people went on to continue that lineage of witchcraft by teaching their own children, by teaching people close to them. It became something, a form of secret knowledge that they kept within themselves, within their circles. So from the outside, they might appear like the good Catholic ruling class, but behind closed doors, they were practicing witchcraft and black magic till to this day. And this is what I saw written in that book. Now, as I was reading those things, I saw that in this class, we had an event where apparently at certain point in time they had to random students in the class were chosen to do certain rituals with plants. Uh, I didn't understand that part very clearly, but as they were starting to do it, one of the students was also designated to sacrifice herself, like literally to sacrifice herself for a certain ritual. And when I saw this, pe- people started noticing that I was trying my best to go through these books. Like I wasn't really interested in those rituals going on. So they started to be suspicious towards me because I was reading, going through the pages of that book because I wanted to collect as much information as I could before leaving that place because I knew that I was sent there as a spy to basically see the works of darkness and to expose them. So as I was doing my best to get as much info as I could uh, concerning that book and read as much as I could and try to remember it because I didn't want to forget it as I went back to onto our realm, into our realm. The people started to be suspicious towards me. So now they wanted to invite me to their rituals, which made me panic, and I left. But before I left, what I also saw written in this book, the history of the this book, The Secret Art of Black Magic, the history book of the history of witchcraft throughout Europe. I saw in one of the pages it was concerning the monarchy. And basically, because the book wasn't written by humans, it was written by the devil, these beings. And they were talking about our world like it's a foreign place. They were talking about the earth as if it's a foreign, as if it's another place, another continent, or another, I guess, another world, which was the case. And so they were phrasing things such as in that place they used to have kings during those times, and the book was also talking about the book was talking about serfdom, having the culture of having serfs during the time of monarchy, I believe in the Middle Age in Europe. And it was explaining how society was during those times with the serfs, the lords, and the ruling class, and how people were basically the majority were peasants and they were also laborers. And it was talking as like it was very bad things until they introduced democracy, uh, which now that I talk about it leads me to believe that the whole democracy that has been that spread throughout the earth wasn't random. It was by design, and it didn't come from mankind. This was these powers who spread democracy throughout the earth. Why am I led to believe it? Because a book written by the devil talking about monarchy as if it was a bad thing and democracy as a good thing leads me to conclude that it's most likely the opposite, and that monarchy is actually the good thing and democracy is the bad, because Satan doesn't do things for the good of mankind. So for them to introduce democracy wasn't for the good or the betterment of mankind. And for them to write in their books how bad monarchy was leads me to believe that a lot of things that we know or we think we know about the Middle Age is a lie. First of all, because the things that I read in that book are not taught in history books of on Earth. They are not taught in the history books on Earth. No mention of these things that I saw there. And also, leads me to believe that a lot of things that we think we know about monarchy that are being taught to us through school or through media are actually propaganda. Propaganda to make us look down upon that system so that we remain on the current system, which is a democratic one. And thus, if we if we think that people under monarchy were suffering all throughout the earth, even though monarchy was a system that happened throughout the earth, from Africa to Asia to Europe, even in South America, on the American continent. It was found everywhere. Now, I'm not here to talk necessarily about democracy versus monarchy, but I'm just saying what I saw in that book and my my thoughts concerning the whole thing. So this is another thing that I saw written in that book. They were basically talking about monarchy and explaining how society was in the Middle Age, during the Middle Age in Europe. Now, after all those things, when the students started to be very suspicious of me, I decided to leave that school and basically run away. And when I went outside of the school, I noticed that we were some kind of valley or plain with fields, uh, and I could see in the mountains that there were these flying devices. For me, they look like helicopters or more advanced, but there was these flying devices with all these agents. They were not humans, but these spirits, these beings operating them, and they were basically like soldiers guarding that place. So when I left that facility, I started to run towards the the mountains to leave the school where I was, and the people were they were all chasing me, from the students to the teachers, even these agents, all these soldiers, these satanic soldiers, they were chasing me. They were dropping on the ground and chasing me, all of them. Why? Because Satan doesn't want his secrets to get out. And I had just assisted to all these shenanigans. I read his book that he wrote, and I saw it that these people, they teach and they learn real and true witchcraft. They have access to books not written by humans. It wasn't printed on earth, people. This was printed by by fallen angel technology. This was written by fallen angels. These books written with their hands. And I saw these things. So we have to understand that Satan is not sleeping around. His agents are very active. When people think that there is this group of elites who gather in some room in a building to make plans on how to rule the world, this is wrong. This is false. They don't gather inside of rooms or inside of buildings. No, these people literally go to other realms. They go to other worlds, other dimensions, and they have shows, movies to show you those things. They show you those things in your movies. When you think of shows like, I don't know, the whole world of Harry Potter and all those things, where you have people going to this world of witches to learn witchcraft. You have your movies about the Stargates and all, where they open portals to go to other places. I haven't watched that show, but I've seen pictures of it, and they open portals to go to other places. This is what happens. This is really what happens. And they have rituals that can open those portals. They don't need technology, as in they don't need machineries to open portals. They have rituals using these ancient arts of magic, of ritual, that they learn directly from those fallen angels, directly from those demons. They learned it from them, and they know how to operate and open portals to go to other realms, other worlds. And where I was the world of the devil. I mean, there are many places there. There are many places in that world where Satan and all his team are. There are kingdoms there, different kingdoms. And it's not the first time that the Lord took me to those places. I've been many times. He took me in the past to those different schools of witchcraft. The Lord has been taking me to different schools of witchcraft in the spirit, where they learn witchcraft and magic. And sometimes those schools are different. Sometimes they learn different things. In one of these schools, the Lord took me to, they had this culture of, they were using totem magic, and they will turn into specific animals. So they will transform. They will turn into a rat. Another person will turn into a cat, and things like that. And they were learning these things there. There were there are many schools of witchcraft like that, and these things are real. You know, so the enemy is not sleeping; he is active. When you think that these politician, or not just politician, because the people that are I saw there, I've seen people there in those places that I have met in real life. So it's not just powerful people like most of you might think. It's also they're just the average person there. Witchcraft is more common than people realize. There are more witches. There are more witches. There are more Satanists. There are more people practicing witchcraft. Even subconsciously, there are more people practicing witchcraft than we think there are. There is a lot of people doing magic, but we just downplay it. You see, we just downplay. We say, "Oh, it's just crystal. It's just a mood. It's just feminine empowerment, or the things like that, or it's just culture or traditions." No, it's a real witchcraft. And then there are those who goes to the next level to learn it from these these masters. Like when you hear people talking about how they have their masters, their gurus, their their ascended masters teaching them those secrets. These are those fallen angels, those demons that I saw teaching people real witchcraft. And this thing is that they want to keep it secret. It's a secret because they consider that a secret art. So you're not going to see them talking about it open. And when they talk about it openly, it's always in a deceptive fashion. They won't tell you the truth. They won't tell you that they are the kingdom of darkness, because when I was running away from these people and they were chasing me, I they were I noticed that I was wearing the robe, because as a student there we had the school uniforms. So I had the school uniforms, and it was a robe like you will see in your movies of Harry Potter and all, but it had all kinds of designs on it, all kinds of drawings on it. It was black and with all those red design, and it was enchanted. Like even the clothes that we wore had enchantment on it. It had power, satanic power. Even the books I had there was enchanted. It was magic. It wasn't just a book. The scriptures will change. The writings will move around, and then it will explain. Like when I want to know something, the literally in front of me, the letters will change and then show me more in-depth knowledge about it. So these things are real, and that's why these people that we call that we think are the 1%, because we have this notion in our mind, this fantasy that it's 99% versus the 1%. This is wrong. This is so wrong, because when I was there, the people in my classroom were not the president and all those things. No, it was the average person who will take go people, the average person practicing witchcraft, going into those realms to learn secrets of magic. It wasn't some form of elite personality. No, these people. So the notion that we the there it is 99 versus the 1% is wrong. It's more like, in fact, I would say that they are more numerous than people who are not into witchcraft. I would say that there's most likely almost as much people into witchcraft who have been initiated into the art of witchcraft, into the with the power, the spirit of witchcraft, than those who have not. And that includes people who are just normal and Christian mixed together. There are more people practicing and initiated who have been initiated into the art of witchcraft, into the art of black magic and magic in general, than people who have not. So they are the majority because they operate as a kingdom, the kingdom of darkness. See? And so, which means that openly they will tell you, like, oh, they are fighting the 1%, they are fighting, they are against the elites or whatever. But behind doors, they are all working for the same kingdom. They are all working towards the same agenda. They are all working together. And that's why when you wonder, oh, we can we can change, we can create a movement to change things. No, it's not going to work because there's more of them. There is more of them on this earth than those who are not involved in these things. And that's not even counting the people who are aware that these things are going on, because most people are asleep. Most people on earth are asleep. They don't even know that there is a spiritual warfare going on. They think it's all fun and games when it's not. So it's not 1% versus 99. It's more like 60% versus 40%. And they are the 60%. We are the 40%. So they are the majority. They are the majority. And that's number one. Number two is that they consider the art secret. So they will keep it secret. They'll keep it secret, guys. They might tell you things here and there, but they're not exposing themselves. You see, we have this false misconception that when they are showing things on their movies, they're actually exposing themselves because there is a law where they have to expose themselves. This is wrong. This is false. The reason why they show these things inside of movies or books is not to expose themselves. They show these things to condition us to accept it. They show these things so that we get used to seeing it, so that when they start doing it openly, when they start bringing witchcraft into school, nobody is going to fight it. We'll just consider it normal. We think there is no big it is no big deal. There's nothing wrong with magic. There's nothing wrong with witchcraft. You see? That's why they are showing those movies. That's why they are investing in the media. Those things are there to desensitize us. It's not them exposing anything. They're not exposing themselves. They are desensitizing us. That's why they never show you the truth. They show you the deception. What does that mean? They will tell you that magic is real, but they will not show you the real magic, that magic is actually from darkness. It's from the devil. They'll show you that they'll tell you that, oh, there is different form of magic. There is white magic and black magic and that magic. No, it's all wicked. Black magic doesn't mean it is bad. It is bad magic. No, black magic is just a different type of operation in magic. It's a different type of operation in magic. When they say, when these people say white magic, because I've seen white magic in when God took me in the dreams to show me white magic is what people call, is what people do in Catholicism and Orthodox churches, and even I would say it, It's mostly those two. It's basically what they call holy magic. Magic that includes the saints, where they will take pictures of saints and do practices, and with candles. They'll even use psalms in the Bible. They'll use psalms in the Bible to do invocations of fallen angels. This is white magic. Black magic, you might see black magic or red magic even in your Protestant churches, with some of these pastors who are doing witchcraft and Satanism. So when they say white magic or black magic or green magic, it's not talking about what is bad or good. It's about different operations of that system. That's all. Like black magic will will usually be about ancestral witchcraft and things like that. Usually done in Africa. Usually practiced in Africa with tradition and then ancestors. This is usually what they call black magic. And then there is the red magic. That's usually what they practice in India. It's a lot of blood in it. Red magic. A lot of sacrifices there. But that's red magic. Green magic, that's you would think that this is what they practice within the Muslim world, using the Quran to do invocations. It's These are different systems of magic, but it's all the same. It's all in the same frameworks. It's just different ways to operate within magic. That's all. But it's all wicked. So they don't show you the truth. They don't show you that magic is all comes from the same source, which is Satan. They make you think that there are different forms of magic. It's not to expose themselves that they show these movies. It is to desensitize people, to desensitize their children, so that they are more open and welcomed towards magic and witchcraft in general. So that when people, when they start teaching magic and witchcraft at school, nobody is thinking that this is the demon. They just think that, oh, this is just some form of esoteric science. It's just another form of science. It's just a mystery. That's why they are doing those things. It's not to tell you the truth. They're not exposing themselves. They are desensitizing you towards magic and witchcraft. Because God is the one who exposes. Light Light is what exposes darkness. Darkness doesn't expose itself. Satan does not expose himself. If Satan is exposing himself, I tell you that he's lying. Because he's a liar. He doesn't tell the truth. So Satan cannot even say the truth about himself. He cannot. If you want to know the truth about what the devil does, you have to go through God. You have to go through Jesus Christ. If you go to the devil, he's not showing you the truth. He's showing you his version of the truth. So what you are getting is not the truth, it is the deception. That's how people are being deceived. They watch movies and shows like Lucifer going on Netflix. I've seen Christians watching these shows thinking that it's actually teaching them something about the devil. No, it's Satan is not teaching you anything about himself there. He's desensitizing you to him. And I've noticed it that even Christians watching these shows, they start to become, how can I say it? They start to empathize, to have empathy towards the devil, which is just I find it to be funny and ridiculous to have empathy towards the devil, because he doesn't even have empathy toward himself. And he's actively working to destroy your life. He's actively working to destroy your destiny. See? And I find it funny because people, like people won't even have empathy towards, I don't know, uh, a child abuser. And yet they want to have empathy towards Satan, not understanding that Satan is the one who introduced all these depravities to mankind. He is the one who taught it to mankind. He's the one who, these beings are the ones who learned to do evil, and then they taught mankind to do evil, because God didn't create evil. God did not create evil, and God doesn't teach evil. They, so if God, he wasn't the one going around teaching people evil, how did they learn to do evil? How did they learn to do evil? Someone had to teach them. These beings, they first taught, they first learned it themselves by experimenting. They were experimenting, and then after their experiment, they mastered the art of evil, and now they teach it to people to continue their legacy. So we have to understand that the enemy and his kingdom, he's active, and this is the kingdom of darkness. And that's what I was telling to these people as I was running away. I was telling them that, because they're trying to stop me. I told them that I am not part of their kingdom. They are of the darkness, and I am of the kingdom of light. So I removed that dress that I had, and then I ran off. I ran, and as they were chasing me, because I had seen too many things, uh, a portal was. I opened a portal this time because I had to leave that realm. Now, how do I do it? I did it by faith. I did it by faith. So I opened a portal by faith, and I fell in this in between realm. Then I had to open another portal by faith towards the earth. And then a portal opened before me, and I was taken back on earth. And as I was going down that portal, I just realized to myself that since I'm opening a portal towards earth, why didn't I open a portal towards heaven directly? I was thinking about that while falling to down on earth, and then I found myself back on earth. And while I was on earth, I then saw this map appearing before me, and it was a map of this world of this satanic continent in which I found myself. It was a map of that world, and it was divided by these vertical lines showing the different sections, and there were like 7 sections in total. And the first section, the most western part of that world, of that map, is where I was. This is where I took that course, that class on witchcraft. It was that part of that world where I was and I escaped from. And it became golden, like I had unlocked it now. I I gained access to it to basically see everything that's happening there. So I guess it means that the Lord can show me all kinds of mysteries from that portion of the realm of Satan. But these things are the kind of experiences that we can have access as we seek God, as we walk with Him, as we mature in our walk with Him. We start to have access to these different experiences, going to other realms, other worlds, and seeing different things.